You're clapping. Do either one you want. We'll do it again. We'll count down again. 3, 2, 1. Hooah! Hi everyone. Thanks for swinging by to our kind of live Q&A. Please don't turn this off when I say that it's live, because we're not really doing it. We just have a small group of people who are currently listening to this because we're trying some fun stuff. Anyway, thanks to everyone who submitted questions for this. If we didn't answer your question, I'm very sorry. We tried to get as many questions in today as we could. But you guys submitted a lot of questions that I really like because they're all group based, and I really like that I can sort of just ask all of my friends questions and have them answer. Don't raise your hands. I'm asking you questions. I don't need questions.
I'm drinking.
Oh, you're drinking?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So just like last time, I have this organized by question asker. So we're just gonna go from the top. First question asker is Howie. Thanks, Howie, for these wonderful questions. First one. Who do each of your characters trust the most? Beth, we'll start with you. Who does Dandy trust the most?
That's a sorry.
Okay, Beth just put on a glove and then flipped me off. So just so you know.
That's a tough one because my gut instinct is to say Ernest because they've been together since the beginning, and I don't think Ernest has ever once let Dandy down. And I mean, you've done some dumb ass shit,
like kicking down doors.
Yeah, I've been disappointed in you several times.
Yeah,
but you've never not been there for her.
Oh yeah.
And I want to say Louisa, but at the same time, like, I think she's more of like I gotta protect Louisa than like. It's hard because if you're gonna say emotionally, Louisa, because at this point, it's her wife.
Yeah.
But if like in any other scenario, like battle, a big boy secret, big boy dangerous secret, I'm gonna say Ernest.
That's fair.
Hey, it's me, Ernest.
What about you?
I also want to say Dandy. Like, I trust Dandy and Harvey so much, but also Captain Punch.
You trust Captain Punch the most?
Well,
he's his son.
And Captain Punch has never wronged me. He beat the crap out of those cockroaches for us. Remember that time?
Yeah.
Actually, yeah, I love Captain Punch. I am legitimately shocked that mission went off without a hitch. I am shocked.
Okay, so it's
you can say more than one person, like for different reasons. Like there's certain scenarios Dandy would pick someone over someone else. And that's fair.
Well, like Ernest is also not naive, but he's very trusting.
Yeah, that's fair.
He has a very trusting mentality, and he loves Dandy and Harvey, and he trusts them both with his life. But I think like with like secrets and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Probably Harvey.
That's fair.
Oh damn! I'm shocked.
Yeah. No, because I think that's totally fair. Because Dandy is like, oh my god, Dandy does not shut up.
So like with big secrets or something like that, it would definitely be Harvey. In a fight, it would probably be Dandy. And with personals, like just like
life stuff.
Yeah, like life advice stuff like that, it would probably be Dandy as well. Captain Punch is just.
Yeah. I feel like that's fair. Dandy would trust Harvey and Ernest both with her life in a fight. It's just like when it comes to like personal connection. Earlier in the podcast, I actually would have said Harvey, but after everything that went down between the two of them, like they're still friends and stuff.
Yeah,
clearly, but it's just she's just lost that base trust with him.
Yeah.
Is it because he chains?
It's because yes, it's because he did that. I am aware that there are maybe one or two people in the chat right now that haven't gotten to that point.
Yeah, I don't want to.
But everyone else who knows that specific scene.
Yep.
So,
what about you, Sal? Who does Harvey trust the most?
God, earlier in the podcast, I would have said Dandy.
Fair.
But after that scene and that talk, and all of that. Like, I don't know if Harvey really trusts anyone anymore, which is really sad.
That is sad. I mean, Dandy and Harvey used to be kind of close, but that was only because Dandy was semi-competent in front of him for a while, and then as she got to know him better, she was just like, I can be an idiot, and then has been, because she wasn't trying to, like... I
don't think that's the case.
I don't know. I mean, well, because I remember early on, you were just like, I'm not even going to talk to Ernest, because he's dumb.
Ernest is he's an imbecile, and I will not speak to his kind.
But I think, Ernest and Harvey have a friendship now that's different than the friendship Dandy and Harvey had.
Because of the yeet. I think that's what
I feel like the yeet brought a lot to the table.
Yeah. It did, and I think you guys have gotten close in a lot of ways. Like, if it comes down to a fight, I don't know if there's like a choice there, just because like Dandy and Ernest have a very similar like fighting style and ability.
Yeah.
But when it comes down to like personal and emotional stuff, I mean, obviously you're the only one who can answer that, but I just don't like. I feel like Harvey and Ernest have been connecting a lot more than Dandy and Harvey have.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's, I mean, like, you're right, and you have a point, but I feel like when it comes down to personal things, Harvey just doesn't trust anyone enough to, like,
what about Johnson?
Trust them.
I feel like you can trust Johnson a little bit.
Harvey would probably trust Johnson with more, like, hey, I murdered someone kind of news.
And I feel like Johnson also has a big mouth.
That's
Johnson
fair. Actually,
does kind of have a big mouth.
I personally don't trust anything about Johnson.
Oh my god!
But that's Dandy and Johnson also have acted or what's the word?
Haven't interacted a lot.
Interaction. Thank you. They had like one solo interaction, and that was when Dandy was like,
"You're a bitch."
Hey,
no, she was just like, hey, did Harvey tell you all the thingies? And he was like, lol, no.
Lol. Who does Stolas trust the most?
Probably Dandy.
Hey, Dandy.
Well, because when it comes down to interactions, Dandy always... Because again, Dandy never shuts the fuck up, but she's always the one that leads the conversation.
Yeah, no, she's usually fairly competent when it comes to things with
fairly.
Stolas.
And Stolas also knows Ernest and Harvey.
Well, listen, Ernest kicks some ass.
Yeah.
Ernest is a great fighter and a wonderful person, but when I say Dandy's dumb, Ernest is another level.
Ernest is dumb, but
I love
with
him though.
3 B's.
He's my boy.
He's a boy.
So I guess we're gonna have to skip around these questions a little more than I thought if they're gonna take this long. So I'm sorry.
Oops.
Sorry to everyone whose other questions we skip. This one, these questions were asked kind of respectively by Howie and Kit. Thanks the two of you. There are a few that I've sort of like combined if they were similar enough to.
Bless you.
Thank you.
And this is a two-parter. So the first part of it is, if you were a D&D class/race yourselves, what would you be? And what would your characters be? And if you guys want a minute to think about that one, I can actually go first.
Go for it.
Yeah.
I would definitely be a bard. And I don't know, maybe it's just my own personal preference, but I'd like to be a half-elf bard. That, I think, would be like what I'd like to be. And I don't know one specific character to pick the second half of the question for, so I guess you can skip that for me. Anyone have an answer?
I do.
Yes.
Go for it. Sal, go for it.
I want to be a tiefling sorcerer.
Oh,
Ooh.
sweet.
Okay.
Very cool.
As far as Harvey goes, I'm not like super duper sure. Probably still like either like an elf or a human because he's boring. And then like class, probably still sorcerer because
That's fair. No, I think that's good for him.
If I was a D&D character, I'm gonna say elf just because I want to be fucking tall. I want to be fucking huge. I want to be 6'3".
I want to be dummy thick.
No. But I just based on what I know about myself as a person, I'm gonna say warrior because I am a lot and also like a aggressive, not like,
You're strong.
physically aggressive, but I am like weirdly strong, and I am also just like I put a lot of passion into some of the stuff I do.
Strong.
And as I am strong, and as much as I would love to be like, haha, magic, I am clumsy, but powerful.
What would Dandy be?
Dandy, probably would be, probably a human, just because she doesn't really have any, like, probably like a human wizard or warlock or something, because like she's really good with the disguise and she's pretty good with stealth, but she's not like...
That sounds more like a rogue.
No, because she's not roguish, though. She's not, like, super sneaky. She's kind of, like... She can sneak, but she doesn't... It's not her preference. She just uses that because she's trying to investigate.
Mm-hmm.
But I would say human just because she doesn't have any, like, serious defining qualities that would make her, like, anything else.
Mm-hmm. What about you, Ernest?
Burnist.
Am I answering for myself or for Ernest?
Both.
Okay. So I would probably be like... I'd probably be human. Is a monk a race or...
Yeah, monk is a class.
Okay. So I would definitely be human. I'd be a monk because I fucking love... I don't know. I've just loved everything about like that class, the fighting style, the weapons they get, all that stuff. It's very cool. And I think Ernest... He'd probably play something very similar to one of our past D&D sessions. He'd probably be a bard.
Is it Garth?
He would be a bard. He'd be a very dumb bard.
That's fair.
What? As tall as Ernest is, I'm picturing him as like a dwarf.
I think Ernest would have a lot of fun playing a dwarf.
Bard.
Oh yeah,
Dwarf.
I think so.
Because yeah.
A borf, if you will.
Dwarf.
And actually, that brings me to the other fourth wall question that I really, really liked. I have to see if I can find it. So it was very good.
Where's
God,
my food?
get it together, Max.
Sorry, I'm just skipping around now.
I would love some...
I told them I wanted extra gravy, and I didn't pay for it.
Oh my god. Anyway, all right, here we go. This one's from Ashley. Thank you, Ashley.
Thanks, Ashley.
Very cool.
If the trio played Call of Cthulhu, how would they play it?
Oh.
Badly.
Hey!
You know, I was going to say the exact same thing, but I hesitated.
Mark.
That would have been so good.
Yeah.
No, I think Ernest would honestly try to play a serious character. Contrary to my last statement, I've thought about it a little more, and I think he would probably want to play a serious character because he is so actually dumb.
I'm going to say the opposite. I think Dandy always goes through life trying to be a level of serious that when she does like get the chance to let her hair down, it's so like, I want to say like vilifying. I don't know if that's the right word for that, but she just needs somewhere to relax, and I feel like a game like that she could really just be stupid.
Yeah, for sure. What about Harvey?
I feel like Harvey would try really hard to play a character that's not just himself and then end up playing a character that's just himself.
Yeah, like...
My name is Schmarvy.
I was going to say Barbie.
Schmarvy Billiams.
I could see Harvey specifically, like 3 sessions in, going to the GM. Who would be the GM, by the way? I could see Marcus Appleton.
I was gonna say Louisa, because I could really picture Louisa as like a good but like really serious GM.
Yeah,
like,
that's true. Yeah,
you play with Marcus and he's like kind of silly, like when I write, or you could have Louisa who's like. We've never played played with a DM who's like the most serious stickler, but I feel like that'd be Louisa.
I like Sal's suggestion of Stolas. I think Stolas would be a fucking fantastic
Really,
DM.
I think Stolas would get really fucking sick of us about 3 sessions in,
and
then he'd be like, "I'm not DMing anymore."
That'd be so funny though.
And then really Louisa's like, "Oh, I'll do it," and then she's just like, "I'm sorry, you can't cast that spell. You don't have enough fucking sanity, Dandy." And Danny's like, okay.
But I could totally see Harvey going up to Louisa like 5 sessions in and be like, "Hey, I want to split off from the party and go on my own emo quest."
Oh, you mean what I do, Max? Get a text at 2 a.m. Hey, Max, I think I want to do this entirely unrelated thing.
That was a really fun question, though. I like that a lot.
Fun.
But Beth, you actually posted a few questions here.
Yeah.
And your first one is, how do I go about getting a raise? And the answer is patreon.com/tincast. If you go there and support the show financially, we can get Beth a raise.
Hey Max, that was a nice plug.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, no problem.
Is that why you put that in there?
No.
I don't even remember asking that.
You did. You definitely did.
I remember asking that
Beth,
like
you
6
ask that
months ago.
every time we put out questions for a Q&A.
Yes, you do. Your other question, though, and Sal, this is for you specifically.
Yay me.
What was Harvey's dream as a child? What did he want out of life?
Because we know what Dandy and Ernest wanted, but not Harvey.
Not what he got, that's for sure.
That's fair.
Poor Harvey.
Well, his dream as a child was actually to own a hotel, so he like legitimately did that. And I'm proud of him.
Go Harvey.
We're all proud of him.
Like when he was little, he was like, I want to own like a big hotel chain and help people. And then as he got older, he was like, actually, I want to own a big hotel chain and kill people.
Follow your dreams.
Live your life. Just like Harvey.
Yeah, you don't.
Don't.
This is a normal does not condone murder.
Yeah.
So I have a question for you guys to think about,
Okay.
and then we'll answer another one while you guys think about it.
Right, of course.
This is from Kit. Thank you, Kit.
Thanks,
Thanks,
Kit.
Very cool.
If This Isn't Normal was made into a movie, who would you choose to play your character?
I've thought about this.
Oh, this is
no,
good.
I like posted about this, guys, like months ago.
I think we were playing a video game when this question
exactly
came
who.
out. Oh, okay, good. Who do we got?
Should I just go ahead and tell you?
Yeah.
Cole Sprouse.
Ooh.
That's fair.
Really?
Okay. That's good. I like that. That's
Oh
actually
yeah,
really
I
fitting.
forgot. He's doing more serious stuff now, isn't he?
I
Yeah.
also know who I would want to play Ernest.
Who would play Ernest?
Tom Holland.
Oh shit! That'd be really fun.
Because
Then
he
he
can do
would
backflips.
Then he'd spoil the entire plot of the movie before it came out.
Yes.
All right, I've got for Dandy. It's Zoe Deschanel. Because
Ooh.
look at her with medium hair.
Oh, she looks really
Medium
Right?
hair.
No,
Medium
it's
hair.
so cute. I fucking love her. She's so pretty.
good. Zoe Deschanel and two actual 12-year-olds. Tom Holland and Cole Sprouse, I actually love you guys very much.
I love them.
Oh, they're so good.
and God forbid they actually ever hear this.
They won't.
No.
They won't.
I just want to
they
say I'm
won't.
sorry I made fun of you. But okay, so that was good. That was actually really good. Here's a question that you actually might have to think about. Beth, my
I'm
goodness.
sorry. I had a chill.
Okay, so if your characters, this one was also from Kit. If you're, it's okay. The wording on this is, if you had your own world, what would it be, and what would the monsters look like?
So like I think they mean like the realms.
Yeah, I understand that. I don't know if it's for you guys or the characters.
Why not both?
Okay, sure. Do you guys want a minute to think about that?
Yeah, give me a hot second.
Can I answer?
Yeah, go
Yeah.
for it. Why are you laughing?
Because
Who are you answering for, first of all?
I'm going to answer for myself first.
Okay.
My world, it would be, ow, fuck you. It would be very woodsy. It would be, like, no houses, like, no technology, nothing. It would just be fucking woods for miles. And, get this, the monster would be Bringo in his dog outfit.
Well,
No one knows what that is.
No,
Okay.
okay, you have to. Okay, so the monsters. Are you talking about like the
I'm talking about like how you guys view
Perceive
humanity,
humanity.
turned into a monster.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the darkest way you see humanity.
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I know, you really gotta like.
It would be shadows. It would be.
You know what? I was
shadow
thinking the
people.
exact same
It would
thing.
definitely be like shadow people.
Like really shifty, like something you see out of the corner of your
You
eye.
can never actually like look right at it.
Yep. No, I feel the exact same way actually. That's weird that we think that, but
Hey Max, we got a what is it? An emotional connection.
yeah, my realm would definitely be a land filled with like the softest things imaginable. Like you walk through plains of like super soft pillows. There's like amazing comfortable beds everywhere. Everything just like designed for comfort. Because I think like if if like I relate to any of the 7 deadly sins like the most. I don't think it necessarily reflects in what I like to believe is my work ethic, but definitely sloth. Like, I just love being comfortable, and I could like sit down and just lie down and relax for like ever. That would definitely be my realm.
Mine would be now this is kind of stupid, but I love Disney World. So
your realm would be Disney World.
No, it would be an amusement park that kept going, but it would just be fucking huge, and there would be no one there except these like, it would be like these little balls, but like as soon as you got near one, it would get like really, really big. Like no matter what size you are, it will always be bigger than you, and it's just gonna like speak, but you can't understand it. And it's like the way I see people when I get into like large crowds, especially people who are like a lot bigger than me, I get nervous, and I start to like panic a little bit. And so especially if I can't understand them or they're getting really aggressive, I just like my mind like loses focus, and then I can't understand them. But it's really bothering me if it's really, really loud, and they would just make that noise, and it would be like right out of your ability to perceive it, and like you could, but you can't.
Okay,
that's what they would do. It'd be really like fucking annoying.
Cool. It's very cool.
That's very cool. Sal, what about you?
My realm would be like a tropical island.
Ooh.
And the ocean that surrounds it would mirror the sky.
Oh, that's
and
beautiful.
it would either always be dawn, dusk, or midday.
Mm-hmm.
And it would be like very vapor wavy.
That's such a mood.
What would the monsters be?
The monsters would be slightly invisible but shimmer and light.
Mm-hmm.
And they would just be like kind of humanoid, but you wouldn't be able to see them. You'd just be able to see like a watery outline. And they
so kind of like what me and Mark are talking about.
Kind of, but like see-through, and not very much shadow, as much just absent, not there, because like I have abandonment issues.
Oh my god. What about your characters? And Harvey, I'm actually like interested in yours, because I wonder if his has changed since Enjoy Your Stay came out.
Not really.
Okay, so just about the same thing, you think?
Yeah, pretty much the same. Maybe a little bit different monster, because his view of humanity has shifted slightly.
Mm-hmm.
But like for like the sake of this question, not really.
Okay. What about Ernest?
So Ernest World would be his childhood neighborhood, with his house being like the very center of it all. And the monsters would be people, but they're faceless, no faces, and they speak backwards.
Ugh.
Like just fucking gibberish, just completely backwards. And yeah, I think that's it. It's not like anything too creepy, but you know, it's enough to give you the chills.
What about Dandy?
I think it would just be like I'm trying to think of like where her perfect place would be, but I know that the monsters would be like these like tall, like something a little bit taller than her, with eyes like a painting that always watch you no matter where they are. And they never move. When you're looking at them, they're always in the spot, but as soon as you turn away and you look back, they've moved, almost like mannequins. But they're always watching you no matter what you're doing. There's something somewhere watching you, or at least the feeling that there is. And then like sometimes if you like go up to one, like it wasn't real, it was like just a mirage, so you never really know how many there are, because you don't really know what's real and what's not. And I think her perfect place would probably be some small house in a small neighborhood, probably somewhat like Fargo, like something like Ernest, where it's like her own neighborhood, but it's like small and out of the way, and not very large.
That's really cool. I think we got time for about 2 more questions here. So next, if you could play any NPC, who would it be?
I want to play Howie.
Okay.
Captain Punch.
Captain, you would play Captain Punch?
I would play Captain Punch in a heartbeat.
What about you, Sal?
Man, I don't know. I'm like,
What about-
I'm getting cut off by the fact that I know that I'm bad at playing NPCs. So I'm like, none of them.
Oh no.
What about like Johnson? I feel like you'd make a good Johnson.
Yeah, I was like, if I had to say anyone, it would probably be Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like also, think of any of the villains. I think you'd make a really strong villain.
I could see that, yeah.
Like,
just not fucking
not William.
Tramp.
Yeah, I'm with you. Okay, well, before you came in, we did fuck, marry, kill, and Will was one of them. And Max and I were like, kill William Schramp, obviously. Ernest was like, I'm gonna fuck William Schramp.
No, I didn't say
Oh,
fuck
wait, did you want to marry him?
Yeah.
Oh, he wanted to marry William Schramp.
Listen, I want to kill
Imagine-
Sabrina Beauvoir.
Imagine not hating
Living-
William Schramp enough to not kill him immediately. No, but I
Any
think,
chance
like,
given to you.
what was his name? The guy, Rathington?
Ishmael?
Ishmael. I feel like you'd be a strong Ishmael.
Oh, I could see that. Sort of like a religious-y, culty type of guy.
Just like someone who is
fair.
like at the same time always suspicious and yet like never outright until he just explodes on you. Like that'd be right up your alley.
I'm so glad you have more faith in me than I do.
I have the utmost faith in you.
All right, food is quickly arriving at our house, so we're gonna wrap up with one last question here.
Gravy.
And this one is from pow. Who is it from, guys?
I have
from
Hey
me.
Arnold socks.
We'll do one from Ashley to wrap it up.
Woo! Thanks, Ashley.
Thanks.
Thank you, Ashley. Very cool.
Would you do a fan-run episode, aka some fans use their OCs set in the same world as this isn't normal, but in an unrelated area of the world and with different demons? I would have no problem if like people took the initiative to do that, but I have a very I'm a little controlling when it comes to some aspects of the show.
A little.
It's something it's something that I'm trying to better myself on, but like I take production of the show very seriously, and I think that not that I don't trust that our wonderful community could deliver something quality, but I think there would just be like it would be more hassle than it would be worth to produce something like that. But please feel free to do something. We'd love to listen to it and support it. It just probably wouldn't make it onto the official
Real
artificial boy. Yeah.
timeline.
Do I have anything? Okay, one last question before food arrives.
Max, you lied to me.
I'm sorry. I wanted
Max,
to.
I'm quitting the podcast.
Okay, this is from Howie. Thanks, Howie.
Thanks,
Very
Howie.
cool.
Does your character believe in ideas like Santa Claus and fairies?
Fuck
No.
yes.
No.
Ernest does? Do you think Ernest believes in Santa
I
Claus?
absolutely believe that.
Ernest believes in Santa Claus. He may not have given presents to Ernest since he was like
Aw.
18, but
Wait, Ernest was still getting presents at 18?
Oh my god.
yeah, Ernest's family was wealthy.
Aw, that's sweet.
That's really cute. I like that a lot.
Dandy lost faith in all things like childish like that
Ernest-
after a certain period in her life.
Last time
Harvey
Ernest,
probably just wasn't taught them.
That's
last
fair.
time
no.
Ernest lost a tooth, he put it under his pillow, and he expected money the next morning.
I expect as an adult, if Dandy knew this, I'm pretty sure she'd go to Stolas and Lacrimosa and be like, can you help me, like, continue this for him? Because Ernest deserves this.
Hi everyone, Max here for your brief ad break. Tune in Monday, May 13th for the release of Season 2 and our first adventure, Wishmaker. It's coming up, very, very soon. We want to thank our critical success patrons, Alexander Getty, Joseph Stowell, Brett Abraham, Ace of the Lukewarm Yeti, Neezy Dragon, Smarties, Emily Kirchner, and Kit. Thank you guys so much for your continued support of the show. Hey, tell a friend about this. Okay, did you like that? Our 30-second ad break? Woohoo! Here we go. Here is the other half of this shenanigan. This wonderful shenanigan. That's how we sync up audio, everyone. All right. Welcome, everyone, to the Q&A. We've had an eventful 34-minute pre-show. It's been a delightful... Kid is muted themselves, Ashley, so that's why you can't hear them. Everything is fine. Okay, so I want to start tonight's program by thanking everyone who is a part of it and who has been a part of the magic of the last year and a half in some way, shape, or form. I want to thank, Beth, who contributed music and support and played such a leaderly character in Dandy. I want to thank Mark, who was a second hand when it came to editing and was a wonderful, wonderful goofball. I want to thank Brett, who was just a voice of optimism from the very beginning until he, had to go. From the very beginning, from the second I asked him, he was down for all this. And I want to thank Sal, who stepped up and even when things were being shitty at work, still stuck around to see this to the conclusion. And of course, I want to thank Will for coming aboard and joining us here. Will, I probably won't have a whole lot of things for you to do during this segment, but I'm happy you're here.
Max, have a nice day.
Thanks, man. All right, so I want to turn the floor over now to Sal. Sal, you are the first question.
Are you gonna ignore my question?
Yeah, I want to do this one first because I want to ask. We started recording. We did the finale on April 1st, so we're a month out. It's been 1 month. Like, how are you doing?
How am I personally doing?
Yeah,
I'm good.
Hell yeah. Like, has the last month treated you well?
Yeah, actually, things are getting better at work, and I've been traveling a lot, and my cat won't shut up. And, and I got a cat.
Hell yeah.
And I've been drawing again. I don't know if our listeners keep up with us on Twitter and stuff, but I, for a really long time, could not draw for shit. So I've been drawing more, and that's really great. And I'm so sorry that Caspian keeps meowing.
That's
I love his name.
Good.
I love it.
Yeah, it's really good. Well, that's awesome. I'm glad Caspian could be a part of this, and I'm also glad you're doing really well because that's important. Yes, Ashley, I know. Thank you. We took care of it. All right. So this first question for the evening from the audience is from someone named Robert, who I don't think exists. And this question is: what is Louisa's favorite pastime? Pastime.
What does Louisa like to do in her fucking free time?
Well, I think that's what Robert meant.
Yeah, God.
I think that's what the man named Robert meant. I think Louisa does Taekwondo on the weekends.
In the 1920s?
It would have been really nice if that played into her story.
Was that around in the 1920s? Yeah. We'll never know, but Louisa did it.
She was inventing Taekwondo. No, I'm pretty sure it dates back to before.
Heck yeah.
Was it in America?
That's the real question.
Maybe.
Okay, here's a we're cruising. This next one is from Lovely and Lonelies, and that's a real person who's in this Discord server. If your character were in a high school AU, what kind of student would they be?
A high school
AU,
what?
Alternate universe.
Got it. Okay.
So what would Jimmy James have been if he was himself in high school? If that makes sense.
I'm gonna let other people go so I can get a general idea of how to answer this one. So, someone else.
I'll do it.
Sal, I feel it. Yeah, please. No, go.
Harvey would be your typical goth kid, but he would be very good at like the academic part of it, which no one would expect because he's kind of like a quote unquote bad boy.
Yeah, I think
Harvey
that's
the bad boy.
Harvey the bad boy Williams. I almost forgot his last name. I was like, what is Harvey's last name? All right, what would Dandy have been?
Dandy probably would have been like on the student council, but like not like the president or anything. She doesn't want that much responsibility.
Like the treasurer.
Something like that. I think she'd have been like liked but not exactly popular. Just like she hung out, she did stuff, and then, you know, after school she would like go out into the streets and do crazy shit and then go back to school the next day and pretend she didn't do anything.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. What about Ernest?
Ernest,
would Ernest have been the weird kid?
No.
Ernest, I feel like he would have almost been like a really popular like jock who was extremely bad at sports.
That's exactly what I was thinking. Like, not a football jock, but definitely like maybe he played baseball or something. He wasn't too good at it, but everybody loves him because he's so funny and goofy.
What if he's like the catcher?
Yeah, and he's smart, so he gets decent grades. So he's like,
damn, that's so much better than what I was saying.
I was thinking class clown.
Yeah, I guess that's a better way to say what I meant.
I mean, he could still be like a class clown, but also like,
I keep imagining him as like, I don't really know anyone that just like hated Ernest. Like
Sherman.
Well,
you know
Sherman's
what?
a bitch.
Listen to me right now. Sherman is an asshole. If he was real, I would obliterate him.
I wish you can see Beth's stance right now. She has her arms at like 90-degree angles. She's fucking posed up, squared up, ready to fight.
I just hate him so much, and I know Ernest did some stuff that was like, okay, it was bad, but he apologized, and Sherman is such an asshole because he wasn't ready for friendship. He didn't deserve any friendship, okay? Sherman deserves to live lonely and afraid, in a constant state of denial of his own fucking mortality. I hate Sherman.
This is where Ernest and I definitely differ. Ernest liked Sherman. I hate Sherman. He's a piece of dookie on the bottom of my shoe.
Asshole.
Yeah.
Brett, what would Jimmy James have been?
So I think actually similar to Ernest, Jimmy James would sort of be a jock, but the thing is he wouldn't be one of those jocks that anyone really liked. He wouldn't be good at school, and he definitely wouldn't have been very like good at sports. Also, he wasn't someone anyone really wanted to hang out with because he was like really awkward and just liked to be alone. So I think that's how it would go down.
That's fair. That's
Brett,
all very good.
I think Ernest and Jimmy James would have been friends in high school.
Oh, of course, without a doubt.
All right.
Also, Max.
Yeah.
This is not a Q&A question. Is that my chapstick over there?
Probably. I was wondering who's like...
Hey, Max.
Yeah.
This is a Q&A question. Is that my chapstick?
Yes. It's both of your chapsticks. Okay. This next one is from Ashley. What are some things that happened after the last episode that you forgot to mention in the episode? And I think that's like a hard question to say because, I mean, we could probably spend weeks or years talking about, you know, what every little character was doing after and when they were doing it. You know, we could create a whole fucking Game of Thrones like 7-year long story event that features all the characters as they go through like more shenanigans. And you know, so I think the best way to answer this question is for us to just shout out random shit. Whatever we say in the next few minutes is canon regarding these characters. If you're all down for this little improv exercise.
Yeah, sure.
I guess.
Jerry takes up water polo.
Jimmy James goes on a date with Ish, and it doesn't go well.
Stolas develops an affinity for 90s cartoons.
Harvey takes up knitting.
Janet Jingleson also goes on a date with Ishmael, and that also goes poorly.
After she's dating Jimmy James?
No, obviously they take a break, and they both try dating Ishmael, and they rebond over a mutual disgust of Ishmael.
That is actually exactly what happens, yes.
I think Ernest, like, puts together a makeshift Captain Punch because he misses him so much, but he doesn't want to like go back and be like, "Hey, bud, come with me," because that's too dangerous.
That's so sad.
It's like Wilson from Castaway.
Yeah, that was not a happy movie.
Before Magic Baby happens, Dandy tries to find something she both enjoys and is good at, so she tries to join the police force, but they won't let her because of what what's his face said about her and her brother.
Oh yeah, the freaking asshole senator.
Yeah.
William Arlington?
Something like that, yeah.
No, that was no.
Oh my gosh, that's right. I forgot that was a thing.
Yeah,
like
the
I think
senator
that's
that
I think
ruined
she like
Danny's life.
low-key finds out that he spread the rumors that she murdered her own brother.
Ernest comes to terms with the fact that Sherman hates him, and he plays pranks on Sherman for the rest of his life.
Good! Dandy helps. Dandy helps.
During the 1960s, Captain Punch is wanted in 15 different states for vandalism.
My boy!
What the fuck?
Listen, Captain Punch starts hating capitalism, and then
That's so
he
fair.
just starts trying to destroy business.
Wait. Okay. So if Captain Punch hates capitalism, I imagine the Lanes and the fucking Appletons are still like around and running the hotel in the 60s. Does he like fight against the hotel?
Not immediately.
Okay, I was gonna say he's still part of that family,
Yeah.
especially the Lanes.
Yeah. So anyway, thank you for tuning into the Canon Power Hour. This has been our weekly update of what is now canon in the universe of This Isn't Normal Season 1. The next question, this is for Brett, and this is from me. What the fuck?
Hey Brett, I also had that question.
What the fuck, Brett?
Here's a little behind the scenes during our Q&A.
Oh, no.
We didn't know what Brett was going to do for the finale.
Let me tell you that I sat there with my mouth literally agape, my hands in my hair, in my eyes. Like, I was in shock. I felt like I was going to be sick, honestly. It was so good, but I was so in depth with my own character, and I was so in the moment that when Jimmy James turned, Danny and I were both just like, what the fuck?
Oh, that's great.
So maybe you can talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, sure. So, Max, you were aware that was a possibility from, like, the first... I don't think it was right away, but from a few days after you pitched the idea of Jimmy James coming back. And it was after you and I had come to terms with the fact that Jimmy James definitely would have been in hell.
Mm-hmm.
Because I sent Max a, like, page-long document just saying, this is where Jimmy James, like, these are some of the things he would likely go through, and this is what his mindset would be going forward. And I outlined the fact that while I didn't know for a fact whether or not Jimmy James was going to be forcing people back into hell, I had a guess that that's what it would be, and I outlined for Max all the reasons why Jimmy James might not want to do that.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing that I didn't go into any episode knowing which path Jimmy James would go down, but I always knew he had that option. And so going into that final episode, I knew, because that episode, it was like the final session we did, but it was the semi-finale and the finale, right?
Yeah.
So going into that one, I was fully aware that Jimmy James was super pissed off at Stolas because Stolas basically was like, hey, Harvey, you're dead. I'm going to make this as great for you of an experience as possible. And Jimmy James is sitting there like, you've got to be fucking kidding me. I can't believe that after everything that... Because I think when Jimmy James enters hell, Stolas was like, I did as much as I could. And so from that, Jimmy James kind of is like, this is stupid. And on top of it, he has friends down there now. And I think he's kind of, he kind of got put at odds. And I think just having him turn on everyone was the thing that actually made a lot of sense. I think it made more sense, at least to me, it made more sense for him to turn on everyone than not turn. So that was really why I did it.
I think that makes sense. I mean, it was a fucking killer twist, but I think we were all caught very slightly off guard because none of us...
I loved Beth's reaction when it happened because I said, I know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna shoot Demetrius or whatever, or Jimmy James is gonna shoot Demetrius. And Beth, you had assumed that I was gonna say shoot the monster or whatever. So you're like, okay. And then Mark goes, wait, Demetrius? And then you had your response of, wait, what?
Yeah, that was, oh, fucking boy. Oh, boy. Well, that's a great answer to that question. This next one is from Ashley. Thanks, Ashley. Now that the season is over, what would be your elevator pitch for getting someone to listen to the show?
Gay.
And this is, I've actually been thinking about this one because I suck at elevator pitches. You all heard, I just pitched everyone in this unwitting audience a 3D movie called Legendary, and feedback was poor at best.
Max, I still loved it.
Thanks, man.
I've been supporting you since last night when I first heard about it.
Well, no one...
I walked away only knowing about your bad pun. That's all I remember.
Yeah. So I'm bad at elevator pitches, but Beth, like, what you're approaching someone in the elevator.
Okay.
What do you tell them about this show?
Jesus Christ. I'm just like, hey, do you enjoy like comedy Let's Plays? If you enjoy anything along those lines, like we've got this really cool podcast. It's got 1920s vibes, but with a modern sense of humor, and like modern character development. Nothing like racist, sexist, homophobic, anything like that. That's something I would definitely play up, because that's something I'm personally very proud of. That we never ever felt the need to go down that road. Because personally, I hate when shit people do that. Like, that's fucked up. I don't enjoy that. I've never enjoyed that. But that, just that it always, even when people are like new, like when I was first getting to know Sal, I went into this not really knowing Brett all that well, and even Will, despite all of that, and forming relationships early on, like it always just kind of feels like 4 or 5 friends just playing a game together. And I always enjoyed that bit as well.
Beth, the man's already gotten off the elevator. You lost him 5 minutes ago.
I blocked the door.
You blocked the door. Okay. The one that goes through my head a lot is Call of Cthulhu without Cthulhu and a lot more gay stuff. But I feel like that also doesn't really properly highlight the fact that like there is still supernatural shit. You know what I mean?
See, the supernatural's never been a sell for me. Like, I think it's neat, but I that's always been more of something that you've been more interested than like. Personally, I like chalk up to being like quality entertainment.
Meanwhile, Beth hates this podcast.
Yeah.
From the very beginning, she's hated the very.
I'm just in it because I can role play lesbians.
I'm gonna actually open this up to the floor of our audience. Send in your responses. What is a good elevator pitch for This Isn't Normal? We'll read some in a few minutes. Next question from Niji Dragon. What would have happened if they had chose Lacrimosa over Stolas?
I would have felt guilt, extreme guilt.
And I think that's very interesting because Harvey, you were really, or Sal, sorry,
Yeah, the same
but
person.
Harvey, well, what I meant was that Harvey as a character was really pushing to bring Lacrimosa over instead.
Yeah.
And I think like it would have gone differently if you guys had brought Lacrimosa over, because like Lacrimosa just fucking ghosted all of you. She was furious, and I don't think Stolas would have been furious. I think he would have just been really upset if that happened.
Don't make me regret this more, Max.
No, because I think it's so fitting for Harvey to want to choose Lacrimosa over Stolas. I think that is definitely a like that's just completely in character. It would have been sad, you know. And I think that choosing Stolas overall plays more into the theme of season 1 that I think we'll kind of talk about in a little bit. Oh wait, no, that is the next question. This next one's from Ashley, and she asked, I think as a joke, but I included it anyway, is the overall theme of the story to kill the rich? And I believe that was all I put down, but I believe that the context of that was that most of our rich characters die. Jimmy James died, Harvey died, and Meg died, yeah. And I hesitate to bring up what I would consider the theme of season 1 because I feel like talking about it weakens it and like lessens it, but I also feel like it's something interesting to talk about.
Well, it's because you're trying to sum up the show and the characters and our reactions as one big general idea when, first of all, the problem with that is we didn't go in with a theme in mind. We never played characters sort of to represent something we all wanted to portray. We just played characters, things happened, and we reacted in turn once we figured out our relationships, our dynamics, the people that we wanted to be. And it just so happened that it kind of worked out that way. Something like a theme, I guess, would be friendship, the way friendship builds and grows, and also the way friendship totally fails, like with Jimmy James, but also with Stolas. Like, Stolas and Jimmy James didn't work out because Stolas never had the chance to grow as a person near Jimmy James. He was just an asshole until Jimmy James died, and then pretty soon after that, they started getting close, and it makes sense. To me, why Dandy, I couldn't not pick Stolas. Like I had to do it because of the time they spent together. Adversely, she didn't want to turn against Jimmy James either. But with everything that happened between them, like their friendship wasn't enough to, overlay other aspects of relationships.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. Like friendship and relationships in general, that's a major key. I think for me, in retrospect, one of the things that we focus on a lot that I guess you could argue is thematic in some regards is there's a lot of stories about redemption. And not just like every character is redeemed and becomes a better person.
Sherman.
I think it deals with the highs and lows of making mistakes and coming to terms with that and trying to move past them as a person. And it doesn't always work out. Like think about someone like Harvey who is given chance after chance to sort of turn over a new leaf and become good. And Harvey wants to, but continually like fucks up. And I think, Sal, you did a fucking phenomenal job just with this character who feels morally conflicted.
Thank you.
And then you have someone like Stolas who was a dick and more importantly fucked up royally and horribly. And when he realizes his mistake years later, after he's, grown and changed as a person, he tries to make it right. And he tries to find some kind of redemption. And I think that's one of the wonderful things of the show. And that's why I was so pleased that you guys picked Stolas. Because again, it wasn't intentional. They could have picked Lacrimosa and it would have just changed things slightly. But when I think of season 1, I think redemption, personally. In all of its complicated, messy, many forms. Or if you really want to, eat the rich. The next question is from Kit. Whatever happened to KT the lizard? And I think we
discussed that at one point. I think
Harvey said that he ate KT.
Oh, was that canon?
Is that what Harvey said?
I'm pretty sure Harvey never confirmed it, but he did say that he ate KT. That to me is the canon ending of KT. Ernest was a terrible caretaker for KT, let him roam the hotel, and one day Harvey found it and ate it.
Which means that Harvey looked at a live animal in the hotel and was like, I could not throw that out. I'll just cook it and eat it.
That's too good to throw away.
Nah, don't let it free. Just fucking devour it.
It's like having a really bad day and be like, you know what? Fuck this lizard in particular.
This next question is again from Ashley. I think I tried to space them out. I did a pretty bad job. It is, while in hell playing cards with Jimmy James, did Stolas forget he had a human form, or did he want an excuse to cheat? And no, I think Stolas just wanted to be a big old owl. But this is such an interesting scene that I want to talk about. The fucking Jimmy James and Stolas playing cards together. Brett. Mm-hmm. Did Stolas cheat?
I thoroughly believe he did.
See, and I don't think he did. I think Jimmy James thinks he did for sure. Like, I'm positive. Jimmy James looked over and was like, that owl's cheating. But I don't think Stolas, like, thought of it as such. And I really want that scene to be, like, kind of left intentionally opaque.
You know what this reminds me of?
Yeah.
Okay, so when you guys were all in high school or school or whatever, you ever just look over at your neighbor's paper? Not to look at their sheet, like, not when you're taking a test, like, you look over at their sheet, not to look at their answers, not to copy them. I just kind of want to see where they are. Like, how far, am I really far behind? And I would do that constantly. I wouldn't look at my next door neighbor, but I would literally look across the room and try and make eyes at someone's paper. And not because I wanted to cheat, but just because I was like, fuck, where is everyone else?
Yeah, I don't think that really applies to cards, though. Like,
well, yeah, fuck, okay. What does Danica's hand look like?
Well, I know it's not an example, but that's just kind of what that reminds me of. Okay. If, like, Stolas wasn't cheating, he just kind of, like, looked over and, like, didn't process it as, like, how am I gonna, like, work with this? Like, what are their cards? What should I do? Just sort of like, huh?
What?
Yeah, but I think that whole situation is really up to, and I say this a lot kind of as a goof, like, audience interpretation, but, like, that is one scene that I mean legitimately, that, like, I want everyone to have a different opinion on what exactly happened in that card game, because it's kind of a turning point in some ways.
That's like, I think that's the moment where Jimmy James is suddenly like, wait a second, like, because Jimmy James invited him to go play cards, like, as a friend. And I think when he comes and he thinks that Stolas is cheating, that is like, okay, this guy's not my friend, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And that's when it kind of leads into all these different things that eventually culminates in him turning on everyone.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, right. We got an elevator pitch from Kit here. I'm going to read it real quick. Do you like comedies and real play podcasts? Oh, wait, do you like comedy real play podcasts? A fan of the Call of Cthulhu RPG? Do you crave that sweet, sweet gay stuff without bury your gays trope? Well, I have a great show for you. 4 friends sit behind a microphone and share a riveting plot full of laughs, tears, and heartfelt emotions. This isn't normal. Hell yeah, that's a good elevator pitch. If y'all ever see Robert Downey Jr. in an elevator, pitch this to him.
Let me tell you something. During the finale, I was stressed out as like a player because I wanted to win and stuff, and I wanted us to be okay. But I was feeling okay because I had talked to Max beforehand, and I was like, hey Max, Louise is gay, she can't die. And he was like, no, I would never, like, Louise is the only one safe during the finale, like, nothing's going to happen to her. And I was like, so I wasn't even worried at all. I didn't care what happened to anyone else. I just wanted my fucking character's wife to be good, and she was. So pleased.
All right, this next one is from Raspberry Rabbit. This is less of a story question and more a peek behind the curtains. What made you all want to make a podcast, and how was that experience for you? And I think we've talked about, like, why we wanted to do it. It was a creative outlet for us. It was a way to bond as friends, a way to tell a fun story. And overall, you know, I wanted to start this because of the Adventure Zone. And I really do thank them for, you know, being such a huge inspiration and wanting to make this show happen. But let's not talk about that so much as, like, how is it as an experience? How was season 1 as an experience for everyone? 'Cause for me, it was good. It was so much. Mm-hmm. I mean, working on any creative project is tedious and tiring, and the output that we do every week, I think, does not truly reflect how much of us goes into making this show. But I will also pass this around to anyone who also wants to answer and talk about it as an experience.
Yeah, I kind of feel the same way. I went from, like, I had a lot of fun in the beginning, and then around arc 2 and 3, I really struggled keeping my energy together, doing school work. It was a lot for me, and I contemplated leaving a few times, but I'm really glad I stayed on, because eventually I sort of got used to the rhythm of it, and that's when I also really started enjoying playing my character a lot more. And even if it was something that took a whole heck of a lot out of me and has taken up a good chunk of my last year and a half, it's also something I'm just really proud of. And it's something I can always be proud of, which is something I was telling myself a lot during the end as it got closer and I got more nervous about, what kind of product have we made? Is it gonna stay good? Are people gonna look back on this in the future and think like, cool? Or are they gonna be like, this is garbage? Just a lot of anxiety.
What about you, Mark?
I mean, I kind of feel the same way Beth does. Like it was taxing at times, definitely, but it definitely like paid off in the end.
Yeah.
With just everything, like you guys, people that listen. It's just been a really good time, and I've just been super happy with it.
Yeah, absolutely. Sal?
Yeah. I mean, it was kind of a new thing going in for me. Like, I didn't really know what I was doing, so I was really scared. But I'd always wanted to do a podcast. So I was like, fuck it, I'll do it. And, like, the overall experience was, like Beth said, like, it's something that, like, I can be proud of and that we can be proud of. And, it was, like, a really great creative outlet and something that I got, like, really into for a while.
Yeah.
And, like, I kind of had to, like, step away from it, unfortunately, just because life wasn't, working out how I wanted it to. But even during that time, it was something that I enjoyed doing. And, like, on the harder days that I had to really push through, especially, like, when I didn't feel like recording and I was like, I just got to get through this day, like, I'm glad I did because, like Mark said, like, the payoff was really nice.
Hell yeah. Brett?
I think at the beginning, I really loved it. I had such a blast. Like, it was so much fun. But like Beth said, like, around the second, third arc was when I started hitting this point where I wasn't enjoying it as much anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And that was mainly, looking back, it was mainly due to outside stuff. There was a lot going on in my life, and I kind of tried to fix the wrong things. And so I wound up leaving because of that. But I actually don't regret leaving. Because as much as I did enjoy doing the podcast with you guys, I love doing it now where I don't have to do it every week. It's like the perfect gig. It's like I get to hop in every once in a while. I get to say hi, and then I get to hop back out. I don't have any responsibility except show up for a week or something. But it really, especially this last arc, like just coming back for, I don't know, what was it, like a month of recording, maybe a little more than that.
A little more, yeah.
So much fun. I really loved it. And even coming back for Georgie and Alberta Sport, that was pretty great.
Fucking Georgie.
Hey, it's me, Georgie.
I work for my boss, Sammy.
Sammy Levacki.
I still haven't listened to that episode.
Dude, it was the I listened to it again and I was like, ugh. But the only part that truly still makes me laugh is when when Sammy and George, not Sammy, oh my god, Dandy and Georgie like get into the room and like Georgie learns the big secret and he's like, fuck this, I'm out. And then Dandy just turns on like the people she's supposed to be fighting and she just shames them into submission. I'm really proud of that.
That was so great when it was supposed to be this big battle and there was like no fighting. It was just no. Stop.
This Isn't the Mob is such a weird episode because I think it's one of our funnier episodes, but it was a fucking train wreck because Mark had the flu, so we couldn't get the equipment.
We literally couldn't go into his house. He was super contagious.
Yes. And Brett, I had to run your audio. It sounded like you were blasting 12,000 fans through your microphone. And we needed an episode to put out, so I couldn't just cut it. But goddamn, is the quality on that episode poor? It is a bizarre episode. I do look back on that fondly, but oh my god.
I think that episode. I think you texted me like the day before, being like, we need something."
Yep.
And I think you texted me like either on Christmas or the day after Christmas or something like that. And I was like, "All right, sure."
Yeah. Okay. This next one's from Niji. How long did your sessions normally run when recording episodes?
That's a question that's gonna vary.
Yup.
Typically what we try to do, Caspian, my goodness.
He's very needy.
Young sir. I don't know how much, I'm probably going to keep some of those meows in. It's really good. Typically a normal session runs about 2 hours. We try to get 2 episodes done per recording session. And we try to record things bi-weekly. That's the short answer. And I think like if I left it there, it would be good, but I don't know. It depends. The finale was 3 hours. We've done sessions where we were just feeling pooped after 1 hour. We just did a session that you guys won't hear for a few months. That clocked in at about 80 minutes. And that's one episode. And we were going to do a second one. We were like, one
of us was like, it was Max.
It was you.
Nuh-uh.
No, it was Max. It was definitely Max.
So I think that, it varies, but we try to do 2 episodes per recording session.
The funny thing is though, we record for like 2-3 hours, but we end up like being here for like 6-7 hours.
Yeah.
Listen, I'll just stay at Max's house constantly. Like, I'll show up on days where I'm not supposed to record, and he's like, "What are you doing here?" And I'm just like crawling to his bed, and I'm like, "I'm just hanging out.
I'm just gonna fall asleep." Hang on, let's retrace our steps very briefly. Did you just say, how fucking morbid was that question where we talked about how the experience was for us? We were like, yeah, it was good, but oh fuck, we also hated it.
No, I just think it's a part of podcasting and, projects that people should know about, that like stuff like when you finish, it feels really good, and the part and the work you've put into it always pays off, always feels really good, even if you leave early.
The thing is that
but it's hard.
It's work. Like it's not it's not just like all rainbow and sunshine. Like podcasts are work. There's work that goes into it, and some days it feels like work, some days it doesn't. But like I don't think we should erase the fact that like it's hard work. It takes energy, it takes time, it takes things that like otherwise we could be doing other things with, but we're choosing to sit there and do it with this thing because we want to make something good for other people. But it's still like work and effort and energy that we're putting into it, so it's not going to be something enjoyable all the time for us, but the product is enjoyable.
Damn, Sal, that's so good.
all personal, especially creative projects are like that.
Yep.
Like you might enjoy it for a while, but like it becomes work, and if you want to put out something that's finished, you have to trudge through that work. Or like me, bail.
I've always called the podcasting my third job, because I have 2 real boy I get paid for this jobs. This has always been my third job, and I leave my Mondays completely reserved for the podcast. I never make Monday plans.
Same.
Yeah,
I don't make Monday plans, and I'm not on the podcast. Who has Monday plans?
Me. No, Brett, you don't understand. I have a personal calendar because I book myself fucking silly. I haven't been home in like 3 days. No kidding. I do not go home.
I haven't seen my wife in a week.
But you're right. I think that this was a good addendum to the previous answer, because like, damn, is it a fucking good time? But like, you're right, it is important to acknowledge that it's work, and that there's struggles. There's struggles that are associated with it, but we're here because we fucking love doing it.
Oh, most definitely.
And I think that's the big takeaway for me. Thank you, Beth. That was the third hiccup. Beth likes to brag that she can hiccup once a day, and she's done.
Do you hear me doing it again?
That was the third one.
And on a row. Slut.
Slut?
All right. I'm okay. We're actually going to skip to the next question, but let me read this one first because it's broad, and I want everyone to think about this. Okay. Favorite line from the whole season. This one's from Emmy. Because oh my god, I feel like the episodes that we put out, every episode we put out, I'm like, damn, this is so good. This is my new favorite.
That's you say that every time a goof happens, you're like, this is my new favorite goof. Every time. Anything that comes out of Mark's mouth is your new favorite goof.
That's not true.
That
Sometimes my
true.
own jokes make me laugh. No. But anyway, so I want you guys to think about that. Mine is, I'm Jimmy fucking James, and I'm not going back to hell. That was a killer line.
That was really good. I like
Will,
that.
this one's for you too.
Oh, God.
If you can think of one.
I have one brain cell.
And it's occupied right now.
It's occupied.
I'm thinking about dogs.
So we're going to skip to the next one Oh, Brett, you asked this one.
Hey, Max, why did you get to answer the question and we didn't? Why did we have to skip us and not skip you? Huh?
Because he wants us to think about it.
I want you guys to think about it. We're going to come back to it.
Uh-huh, sure. Okay.
Okay. If you were to choose one episode to introduce the podcast to someone, which episode would you choose? Either a one-off, like maybe This Isn't Bagels.
Oh, I don't want to introduce anyone to This Isn't Bagels.
No, that would
No.
I agree.
God, no. When I was getting my friend into it, like when I made friends with someone and I was like, hey, I have a podcast, you want to listen to it? And they were like, sure. They're like, where should I start? I'm always, it pains me, and I always give it a preface, but I'm always like, start with arc 1. If you don't want to get through kind of like two arcs worth of like character building and world building, arc 3 is when things begin with the plot. So either the first episode of arc 3 or Cultspiracy 1, even if it pains me to point people to Cultspiracy.
Yeah,
Yeah. Go ahead.
I was gonna say I usually drop people in the first episode of In Sheep's Clothing because I feel like that's one of the strongest arcs.
No, it super is.
Yeah.
It definitely is.
I was helping someone move, and they had the podcast blasting, and I was like, okay, I guess I'll just listen to myself for 6 hours. That's cool. And we re-listened to In Sheep's Clothing, and I was like, God, I forgot how fucking good that arc was. I texted Max later that day, and I was like, good fucking job, you rowdy bitch. This is amazing.
Slut.
I remember the tension during those voting scenes.
Oh, the tension.
Because
sorry, go ahead, Brett.
none of us were allowed to know what anyone else voted.
Let me tell you a big old secret. Brett, I thought it was you voting for Felicity every damn time.
She would come to me after the sessions and be like, it was Brett. And I was like, Beth, I don't think it was Brett. And she was like, no, it was Brett. And I was like, all right.
I love you, Brett, but I didn't trust you as far as I could throw you.
Well,
there were a few times where I almost voted for someone else, but I decided not to.
Well, I think the thing is, I don't think it wasn't Brett that you didn't trust. I think it was Jimmy James that you didn't trust.
Oh no, God, no. Of course it was Jimmy James. I don't not trust Brett.
I barely trust Jimmy James.
But yeah, I think that like, because we've talked about this before, but I kind of want to expand upon it a little bit because when you start a new project, when you enter a new medium, that's
I will fight you.
The first thing that you make is not going to be good. It's just a fact. There's a learning curve for any sort of creative medium. The first product that you put out is not going to be your best. And that is true of This Isn't Normal. And I thank everyone wholeheartedly who has listened to the entire show. That really does mean the world to us.
You're welcome.
But I think that like I think around In Sheep's Clothing, maybe like Enjoy Your Stay, because that also introduces Harvey. That was when we started to get a grip on the editing process and volume leveling a little bit better.
Oh God, Arc 1 was atrocious as far as audio went.
We had no idea what we were doing.
Listen, I remember editing my first episode of Arc 1. It was probably episode 3, and I didn't know how the audio worked and like how you could raise and lower the decibels, and like I would put in a little keyframe, and then I would lower it or raise it, and it was just erratic. Like it would be at like 6 decibels, like plus 6 decibels, and then at like 2 minutes later it'd be like minus 12 decibels.
Yeah.
No, I can listen. I am still currently working on transcribing the entire podcast. It is a hefty load. I'm getting a lot better at it. I'm moving a lot faster. But sometimes, especially when doing Arc 1, I would be anywhere in Arc 1, and I would just be filled with the sudden urge to stab myself somewhere, anywhere, please. And then I would move on to Arc 6, Arc 5 or 6, where we don't sound like garbage, just to transcribe that, just for a better experience for a little while.
Well, that's the other thing, Brett. You go ahead first if you want.
I'm pretty sure I was drunk during all of Arc 1.
That's really funny.
I'm pretty sure I remember Max texting me at one point being like, "Hey, you should drink less." And I was like, that's probably a good idea.
Maybe consume a little less alcohol while recording.
To that end, and Brett, you actually sort of segued into this nicely, because not only was there a learning curve with the editing process, there was a learning curve with us as performers.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
All of us, and
oh yeah.
Sal, I think even when you joined up, none of us were used to talking into microphones for this extended period of time. Early on, I'd like lean back and I'd be like, "Yeah, you guys are doing this thing over here." Our mics had like these stands. Will still has one of our old mics. Give that a little whack real quick, Will.
Or like here.
Just touch the fucking mic.
Stop. Okay, that's funny.
I had to put it back.
So I mean, there would be a lot of that we couldn't edit around because we'd be saying crucial things, and then you'd hear,
or like I'd whack my knee into the stand, and I'd be like, "Oh, maybe they won't notice." And then I'd be editing the episode, and it'd be like, Max would be like, "Yeah," and you guys go into the hall, and then,
Listen, I was on occasion I will still like mouth things at Mark or make a joke or poke someone who's sitting near me. But oh my god, Arc 1 and Arc 2, I would just look at Mark across the room and have a low-key conversation with him.
You'd be like,
"Yeah,
hey Max, it's really stupid, right?"
I look back and I am filled with shame.
So where we're going with this is get them in sheep's clothing, and if they like it enough, tell them to go back so they can get the context at the beginning.
If I can throw my opinion in real quick,
yeah,
we kind of like went crazy away from the question and talked about it a lot. I would say to listen to it from the beginning.
I agree. Like it's painful, but it's better.
It's definitely, you can see that it was like the beginning of the podcast, of course, but like you get character information that like if you skipped everything that had Jimmy James in it and you went on and you listened to the podcast without knowing who he was, and then he came in later and everyone was like, "Oh, Jimmy James, our friend," you would be like, who the hell is this guy? What's going on? And it would just kind of be like a confusing situation.
His
you would
death
have
too.
Like you wouldn't have gotten the gravity of like his death in sheep's clothing.
You
would lose a lot.
One arc, it wouldn't mean as much to you to lose a character like that. But if you listen to all 3 arcs, like my friend who was going through it, unfortunately likes to spoil themselves by looking at fucking art like the idiot they are, and I know they're gonna listen to this. So stop it.
You fool.
But they knew that that Jimmy James was gonna die because they looked at the cover art. They're like, "This doesn't look like what Jimmy James was described as," and I was like, that's hilarious. And then when Jimmy James died, they're like, "Ah," and I was like, "Well."
See, that's why I think somebody, if they want to start the podcast, maybe listen to one of the April Fool's episodes to get a taste for like our humor.
See, I agree. I think that like a one-off episode that's like a little further in is a great place to start, because if people like our complete and utter bullshit, they're probably going to tolerate our lesser bullshit.
I still don't think this isn't bagels. This isn't the way to go. I don't think that's the
way
to go.
I would go. So my vote would be, honestly, this isn't the mob.
That's a good one.
Because it's a one-off, but you still have Dandy in there.
That's true.
You're still in the same setting. You have some of the same comedy. And you have some weird, stupid character who shows up and fucks everything up.
That's true.
and then he disappears again.
And I'm assuming there's no like real backstory or like anything involved in that episode. Like,
nope.
I don't think so. No,
I mean,
it's a one-off in its purest form in terms of like an in-canon adventure.
Yeah, because it did happen because Dandy references it later. Even if it meant nothing to nobody.
Well, Sammy Lee Vecchi ended up coming into the show.
Yeah.
Wait, really?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
The Great
Captain
Jewel
Lee Vecchi.
Auction.
Captain/Daddy Lee Vecchi.
Oh my god.
That was Will was in that episode too.
That was the
that
first
was
time
Will's
I was
debut.
here.
That might also not be a horrible place to start. I think that there are like there's some good kind of one or two off episodes where you won't get all the context, but you can at least show whoever you're trying to show the show.
The only problem with that one is that, yes, it was a one-off, but it was also kind of like plot heavy.
That's true. But anyway,
one of the other ones I was thinking, granted, I only listen to ones I'm in, so
oh my god, Brett.
you probably have different options. But the Halloween episode we did,
This Isn't Spooky?
That one, yep.
That was really fun to
Where
record.
Ernest has like a baby pumpkin or something. Or not Ernest, but Mark's character.
No.
See, the thing is, like,
That's not This Isn't Spooky.
I blocked that episode out of my head.
No.
Like, I know we did it, and recently somebody brought it up. They were like, do you remember the Halloween episode? And I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? We didn't do a Halloween episode. And they were like, yeah, This Isn't Spooky. And I was like, oh no.
That is the worst. That is the worst performance I've ever given as any character anywhere.
Chevy.
No, not
love
Chevy.
my character.
No. That was
And
wasn't.
This Isn't Spooky. You were the goat
That was
person.
the goat. Yeah, that was
I'm thinking of the fucking one where you
And everyone was like, "Oh, it's the devil."
Oh, I was thinking of the one we had like the worm and
No, that was a Patreon adventure.
Yeah, that was a Patreon episode.
Oh, okay, never mind. I like This Isn't Spooky. That was funny.
I did not like that one.
We are just about done here, but let's get through the Emmy's question. Favorite line from the whole season? Oh boy, anyone think about that?
I did. I couldn't think of any.
I forgot to think about that.
I thought about it. It's not really a line. It's more of like, it's more of a moment. It's when I just really like it because it was very early on. It was the scene where Ernest gives Jimmy James the lizard cloak, the extra lizard cloak he made. And just something about that moment in the show, it just makes me smile. I don't know what it is. It was just
Wait, was it the cloak or was it the hat?
Did I give you a hat?
I think you gave him a hat.
I'm pretty sure you gave him a lizard hat.
A smelly lizard hat.
Oh yeah, and you could use it as a weapon. We never did, but yeah.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, because I think we discussed that later, that it had like spikes on it, and it was really shoddily made. So but I just genuinely like that moment for Ernest. I don't know what it is.
That's a good moment.
I remember what mine is.
What's that?
It's one of two. It was either when in the finale when fucking Scooblop shows up and I was like, oh, he wants to get coffee, and then 2 seconds later I was like, oh, you're getting arrested. or in what was it? It was when the mayor showed up. It was one of the in-betweens. The mayor showed up and I was pretending to be the senator, but I was fucking like, and the police showed up for Ernest, and Ernest was like, I'm not here right now.
I actually
that whole scene made me laugh really hard.
I do have another one. It was the moment the first episode the Will was on. The one where we were with Sammy Lee Vecchi and
Daddy Lee Vecchi.
I'm calling the cops on you.
You can't.
It's too late. I'm already the police.
Oh no!
But it was the part where I said that like Ernest had really high pants and
clown shoes.
Stop.
the clown shoes and eating a fucking banana.
Mark ruined his character for his girlfriend.
I did, yes.
Forever.
Sabrina.
She no longer likes him.
No, it's not that she doesn't like him. She just always thinks of him as a goofy fucking clown looking dude.
She doesn't like him.
Ooh, I have a good one. Sal,
Yes.
Maybe you remember this too.
Probably not.
One of my favorite moments is from the last train out, where you and Meg are trying to sneak into that building, and you have to the janitor, the little moth janitor, looks down at you, and you start having a snowball fight to try and disguise what you're doing, and then you fucking lock him out when you try to get him involved in this snowball fight.
That was very good.
That was really good.
What about Sal and Brett? What you guys got?
I can't remember lines for the life of me because my memory's horrible. But I remember very distinctly the time that Harvey got to ride Meg's horse. And that's what comes to mind, mostly because that is probably the only canon moment where Harvey felt true happiness.
Oh no! What about you, Brett?
I already mentioned the when Beth responds to Jimmy James betraying them, and I would say that's probably my favorite. But if I were to go with another one, I don't remember anything this character said, but I remember it was the second arc, I think it was, with the fish people or whatever at the convention center.
Yeah, community center.
Oh my god.
And we walked in, and whoever was at the desk had a Kermit the Frog voice.
Oh, I thought you were gonna be about the guy that we harassed in the hallway.
The guy who wouldn't let us in or whatever, and we kept trying to pretend we were the press.
I remember that. Well, you guys, I kept trying to be his friend, and every time you guys kept doing more bullshit to him, and I didn't get to be his friend. And I think that was one of the only times I felt actual anger. Not for my character, but at my fellow players. I was like, fuck you guys, you just ruined a genuine friendship for me.
Will, do you have one?
I have two, actually. Oh my god, I just lost one of them.
Goodbye.
No, I didn't. Just kidding. My memory's not that bad. Usually it is. One of them is a lot darker than the other one.
Okay.
But they're both very fun. I'm not going to call them fun. They're not fun. One of them's fun. Is when Dandy proposes.
Oh, yeah.
That was super cute and emotional. On the complete opposite end of the emotional spectrum was when Jimmy James died. And, that seems kind of dark because someone died, but, the editing was super well done that, it cuts off before you get to actually hear that, yeah, he just died. It cuts to the other two players, and they've gotten their strength back. And it's kind of you're like, oh shit, what? I can't believe that just happened. I liked those two scenes.
This is the last thing I'll add. Oh, sorry. Let me say this really fast. That reminds me of that time that we were hiding in the library, and I just really enjoy this because we got caught in the library, and I immediately started fake crying. And one, I didn't know I could do that. Two, Max and Mark both thought I was really crying, and I just sat up and I was like, no, I'm fine.
Sorry, Brett, what were you going to say?
I just remembered two things
that
remind me. So, real quick, my actual favorite moment was not during the finale, but it was a little before that, when Dandy and Jimmy James get into a full-blown argument over what to do with Howie/How Evil, to the point where it's Beth and I just arguing, but as our characters, and I'm pretty sure everyone else thought Beth and I were actually mad at each other.
Yeah, because Max was like, guys, and I was like, what?
Yeah,
I was like, no, I'm not mad. I'm Dandy.
I was like that. I think I gotta be honest. One of my favorite moments that happened several times throughout the show was every time that Dandy and Jimmy James would get into arguments about basically their ideology.
Yeah,
because they were on opposite ends of the spectrum and they were both so stubborn.
Yes, I always enjoyed that. It made me really nervous in the first couple of arcs because I'm an angry person, but I'm also non-combative. I'll be like, yeah, I'll fight them, and then someone will be like, yeah, and I'm like, oh no. But I got nervous, but by the end of it, when I felt more comfortable as a player and a character, and also I've low-key hung out with you, Brett. We've played games together. You're a super cool dude.
We need to do that more.
Yeah, dude. Oh wait, I'm gonna get Civ 6.
Oh
because now I have a computer for it.
Great. Anyway, guys, we're almost done here. I got 2 more questions.
Second thing, real quick, I have a question though.
Yeah, what's up?
Max, I have a question. So when Jimmy James died, right? Like Will said, we had that cut off, but you and I recorded more.
Yes.
Did that ever get aired?
Yeah, dude. I actually split that up over the next few episodes. So like maybe 2 minutes would play during the beginning of the episodes leading up to your death, and the last piece of it where you figured out right before you died that it was one of the old couple that like was about to kill you. That was at the same moment that the rest of the team figured out that they were evil.
Okay.
It was kind of a risky piece of editing. I think it came out okay. It was definitely something that like had me worried. I was like, God, I hope this sounds good. But yeah, that's how that ended up going down. Okay, all right. 2 more questions. Sal, this one's for you.
Yeah.
It's from Ashley. Does Harvey come to terms with what he's done?
I saw this because I was peeking through the one of the forums for like asking questions, and I was like, I should probably have an intellectual answer for this, and then I forgot about it. I think in some way he has, especially because in the finale he gets the option to become like a prince of hell or to just like settle down and like be calm, and I think him choosing the little cabin that he gets is a part of him being like, I don't want to be who I was when I was on Earth. And that's kind of him, like, not as far as like forgiving himself, but trying to move forward from who he was, and trying to make himself better than he was, even if he's doing it in hell. So
that's fair.
I'm not sure if he's entirely accepted what he's done and like, you know, kind of like moved through it entirely. Like I feel like it's like on a daily basis one of those things, like some days he regrets it, some days he's like, I'm not sorry about it. And it just gets like very wishy-washy because he's a very conflicted person.
That's so true. Okay, last question, and I think it's going to be fun. So I'm going to read it. All of us here are going to answer it, and everyone in the audience is also going to have a chance to submit their answer. And one of our answers is going to be the canon response to be determined in the future.
Max, I hate you. I know what this is.
This last question is from Beth. Does Magic Baby go to college, and what is their major?
They major in magic.
They go to clown college.
Submit your answers now. Smarty says no, they don't.
I think they do.
No,
I'm also gonna go with no, they don't.
No,
Will says no, they don't.
Let's see what Magic Baby was born in what?
Because like how popular was
Medieval
going to college
metaphysics.
then?
They're born in the 30s, the late 30s, so they grew up, and they'd be going to college sometime around
50s?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, college was affordable and it was a normal thing back then. I think Magic Baby would have gone to college.
Magic Baby definitely goes to college.
I
What
think
did
Magic
they
Baby
major
goes to
in?
college.
I think they majored in probably like business management.
Business management, okay.
Yeah,
So they can
economics.
either,
Basket
they can either
weaving.
fall like they like if they
Basket weaving. We have basket weaving as a major.
Maybe acting. Maybe they went to an acting school.
Oh, maybe dramatic ass motherfucker.
Let's see what we got
The
here.
dramatic ass Magic Baby.
Let's see
They
what
just
we
get
got.
named Magic Baby.
No, okay, I have canon names that I've changed a few times and keep texting Max, but they have a name.
Max, give us the canon name.
Max fucking won't tell me what their name is.
Max, give me the canon name or I'm gonna rip out your jugular.
Later.
That's a stupid name.
All right, let's read through some of these answers. Emmylou94 says, yes, they do. Medieval metaphysics. Ashley says, yes, religion and demonology, a double major. Kit says, witchcraft and wizardry. Rosa says, childcare. Smarty says that they spend most of college playing D&D.
Because that was around in the 50s.
Magic Baby invents D&D. Beth says they major in memeology. Oh, sorry, meteor.
That's the same. Where do you think memes come from? Meteors.
Meteors.
Maybe it's a double major.
Did memes exist in the 50s?
Yes. No, yes, they did. Memes have existed since...
Yeah, but not
not memes in the way we think of, but the concept of a meme has existed since, like, the 1700s, possibly earlier.
Jesus Christ. Just 1,700 kids to remember.
Yo, imagine George Washington walking into the room and be like, yo, check out this sweet meme, guys.
Well, they weren't called
Jabs.
memes.
Oh my god. Alright, well, I'll admit, these answers were not what I was entirely expecting.
What did
Can I
you
change
expect,
mine?
Max?
That's fair. Will, what do you got?
So I'm taking back my previous vote for not going to college, and I'm changing it to a English major / possibly history major, and they write stories about all of the tales that their mom told them.
Ooh.
They become a famous author.
Wait, okay,
Yes.
so I want to know, does Louisa, like, because Dandy would be super chill telling Magic Baby and their other children about the crazy shit that they got up to in their 20s. Does Louisa, like, is she cool with that, or is she like, Dandy, we should, like, not tell our children about this?
I think you'll find that out later in the future.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Max,
I want to thank
when
my...
Louisa comes back.
This is my fucking fake-ass family.
Max, I'm gonna write you a strongly worded letter, and then I'm gonna slice your jugular with it.
I want to thank everyone for being a part of this.
I want to thank everyone except for Max, who has continuously betrayed me.
I want to thank Beth, Mark, Will, Sal, Brett. I want to thank everyone for listening. I want to thank everyone for season 1.
And you know what? Thank you,
Thank
Max.
you,
Thank
Max.
you, Max.
for
Also
being
not
so
thank
goddamn
you.
aloof.
Thank you.
Max.
I love you so much. I'm so proud of you,
Brett,
Max.
why do you
Yo,
sound
same.
like I just shat in your ice cream and told you to thank me
You
for
won't tell
it?
it. You won't tell us the
Max
things we want to know.
did shit
bitch.
in my ice cream.
Ew.
I did not.
Guys, I gotta
appreciate it.
go.
I want ice cream.
I gotta go.
Mark, do you want to go get hot fudge
I
sundaes?
really want ice
Yeah, I
cream
think
now.
I gotta go
Tune
get
in
some
May
ice cream.
13th.
Can I come?
Tune in May 13th for season 2. I'm just... Love all of you.
Love you.
All right.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
So everyone, thanks again for listening. We have reached the end of season 1 as my dogs bark in the background, proving once and for all that we are professionals at what we do. We actually still have another week of recording here as we wrap up the finale, but we're getting close to the conclusion. When you guys hear this, season 1's going to be over, and we sort of have something to address that I really have not been looking forward to having to announce for a very long time. And it's that for season 2, Sal will not be a regular cast member. And Sal, I'll let you, say a few words if you want, but I sort of wanted to say that when I reached out to you to be a part of this originally, a big part of it for me was wanting to reconnect with an old friend. And having the opportunity to do that has been fucking delightful. And I want to thank you so much for being on this roller coaster for as long as you have. And I'm sure you are, thrilled to be able to reclaim some of your free time and pursue other things that make you happy, spend time with loved ones. You're going to be missed here. You will always have a spot at our metaphorical dungeon table. And from all of us here, we just wish you the absolute best.
Oh, I love you guys.
Sal?
I'm very far away from my mic.
Me too. I'm really sorry.
It's okay. I just want to clarify that, nothing has gone wrong, and, this isn't, necessarily... I mean, it is, sad, and, but but not necessarily a bad thing, because like I'm stepping away from the podcast just because like my job doesn't really allow me the free time to record anymore, whereas the job that I had when we started, I had so much free time. I didn't know what to do with it. So like that job allowed me to record a lot more than my current job, which is a full-time office job, whereas previously my job wasn't full-time, so I had the time to record, and life is just not working out in my favor of free time at the moment. And so I want to spend the free time I do have with like my wife and trying to get our life together, like, and other things that like I'm going to be moving here soon, and a lot of things are changing, and I just don't have time to do the podcast anymore. But it's not because like I hate the podcast or I'm upset with how it's going, or I don't like Max or Beth or Mark. Like that's not any of it. I just want to like clarify.
No, I think that's good. Like there's literally no bad blood here. It's I think it's mutually disappointing for everyone, but
yeah,
like this is going to be positive. And you know, of course, we here have a lot of good things coming up. TBH, there are some things that I haven't even told Sal about that maybe we could do in the future. So
I'm afraid.
God willing, and the creek don't rise. I think it'd definitely be cool to have you around later, maybe as like a Brett-ish character, and step in and out occasionally.
Hell yeah.
So anyway, if everything goes according to plan, we're still recording this kind of in a weird order, but we're actually going to be announcing our characters this Thursday or Friday. Hopefully I'll have a better idea of when that's coming out the closer we get. So you'll hear about it when this actually comes out. But we will be starting season 2 very soon. So stay tuned, and we love you. Bye.
Bye.